Hello, folks. Welcome to Flex Adapt with Intent. It's Wednesday night. Today is March 17th, 2021. And some of us have been just sort of hanging out here at home doing the live stream thing for nearly a year. We got a little bit of a late start on that. It's not been exactly 1 year, but it's been close to that. Some of us had our work and our livelihood cut short very quickly back in March of last year, 2020. And my guests tonight are pretty much of a perfect example of that. We're going to be talking with Sarah Haarman and John Morgan Kimock, and they are married not much more than a year or two, and they have a new baby, and they are sorting life out in a pandemic, not being able to do the thing that they love. And we're going to get started right away. We're going to bring John on right now. Would you please welcome John Morgan Kimock? Hey, Johnny.
Hey, Dina.
Where'd your sunglasses go?
They're right here.
Oh, I like those. They're perfect. You have a small head.
Is it that my head is small, or
Are they yours?
these are mine? Yeah, my daughter
Oh,
gave these to me for the stream.
I think they're adorable.
Yeah, they're very expensive.
Cool.
Penny's got good taste.
Yes, and Penny's asleep now, or she
Not yet.
not quite. So
No.
Sarah's on mom duty right now,
Yeah.
and hopefully we'll get her in here. And I think that's just beautiful for both of you.
So ridiculous. It's so great. And for the record, I usually am like totally a part of this last bit. So
Oh, I didn't doubt that one bit.
we're a team in this.
Yes,
But we just only recently started. Sarah found somewhere to dance today for the first time in a year.
wow.
Like more than 6 feet of a little apartment room. Hey, Mark. And we made it's just so funny. Like, we've literally been together every second of every hour. And today I had a doctor's appointment, which is very rare, like extremely. And Sarah went and danced at a different place other than upstairs in our apartment. So kind of a big day.
Oh gosh, that sure is.
Things are looking up.
Yeah, big time. So you're you want just a little bit about your background? You grew up in Bethlehem
Yeah, I
for
did.
the most part. All right,
Yeah.
high school. And of course, the name of the school has changed by now, the Lehigh Valley Charter High School for the Performing Arts.
Yeah.
What was it called when you were there? It was the
LVPA, Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania Arts.
Oh, okay.
We called it
Performing
LVPA,
Arts.
but it was
LVPA.
like Charter School of the Arts.
Yeah. And well, we're going to ask Sarah about this too, but she attended that same school. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Wow. Was there some point in life now for you? I know. I mean, we know the history is you played drums with your dad for a long time since you were just a wee person. And so pretty much your path was music was the thing that you were going to do.
Yeah.
For the rest of your life.
It would depend on who you ask and what, I mean, I don't remember a whole lot from my Wii days, but I started playing from when I was very, very young. And then actually coming to Pennsylvania, I wasn't playing drums at all, like maybe from 8 to 16. I mean, again, shave a couple years off that or add one or something, but there was a big chunk of time I was doing jujitsu and kickboxing and like kata forms and did martial arts and stuff. So for maybe from 8 to 16, I'm going to just say that I wasn't drumming at all. And then my father moved to from California to Pennsylvania, and that made me start playing again. So I played from, I guess maybe from like sophomore in high school is when I started playing again. And it came back like that. It was really quick.
Wow.
I knew how to play beats.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he had a really great drummer at the time that, you know, made it real easy to get back into music. So
I had no idea that little bit of a story. I had no idea. The whole martial arts, I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, if I hadn't done music, I probably would be still doing that.
Wow.
Teaching or competing or something. Me and my friends, I mean, they run 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu now in Bethlehem and Easton. Zach and John Michael were some of my partners in training back in the day at our school, and I can just as easily see myself making that a career path, you know, but music just sort of did it, you know.
Wow. Yeah. Fantastic. So at some point, you did find yourself in Burlington, Vermont for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Lived up there for a while, and is that where you got involved with Mike Gordon and started touring with Mike?
Yeah, Mike invited me up. Let me see, what year is it now? 2021, 2015 maybe. I had just been in that band R Griffins, and I say that because it's a local band and was a great band and great friends in that band.
Yep.
I just sort of come out of that band, and I guess I was still in it. I mean, it just sort of, that band sort of just fizzled because of whatever. But we all remained good friends, and I still play with Al a lot. Actually, he helped with this record I made.
He did.
He did. Yeah,
Cool.
Alex is on this record. Sales Sounds.
Alex the Kid.
He played some synthesizer and bass on this record.
Sweet.
But anyway, Mike called me right after that band sort of just stopped kind of like having a lot of shows. And I was kind of out on my own again, for lack of a better phrase, and decided to move to Burlington because it was such a nice city and it seemed like it seemed nice. I don't know. I didn't know anyone, and I knew one guy. And it seemed as if he was happy enough to just show me around and also help me sort of get in touch with people. And I moved up there into a little apartment probably in 2016 and was there for maybe 3 years. Yeah.
Cool. And so at that point, you were you able to, so you toured with Mike Gordon. Did you also do some touring with your dad?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the time that I lived up there, I was mostly just kind of flying in and out and flying back and forth from the West Coast. I didn't have like a whole lot of work in the middle of the country, but there was a whole bunch to do on the West Coast and East Coast. Mm-hmm. And I did end up playing in some Burlington bands up there too. Cat Wright in the Indomitable Soul Band, which is just Cat Wright now, just so I'm not in trouble or whatever. I don't want to get in trouble with her. It's just her name.
Say it right.
It was a cool band name, but I think it was like hard to say. And then, so I played with Kat and Mike up there, and that really took up a whole lot of my time. Hi, sweetie. You want to say hi?
Penny.
I'm sorry.
How old is Penny?
Where is everybody? You want to come up for a second? Yeah. Just say goodnight. It'll be fun.
Sure will.
This is the time of night. So
this is it. This is late. Yeah.
She's just about to go to bed. Hi, sweetie. You want to say hi? Come here. Come here. Come say hi. Look.
Hi, Penny.
This is Penny.
Yeah, you sure are. Now, how old is Penny now?
19 months?
Yeah, just about.
Just about 19 months. She's going to bed late.
I'll say.
Yeah. Can you say hi?
Can you see me? Can you see me to wave to you?
Move your hand.
Or like this. Is this better? There you go. Like that.
Like that?
That's it. Say goodnight to all your family. This is your chance. They're all watching.
Aw.
Bye,
Say
everyone.
goodnight to the whole family.
She's like, I don't know you. I'm not normally on Zoom with you.
No. Where is everybody else? All right. Bye, Sarah.
Bye-bye.
She'll come back up.
We'll see you later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay. Cool.
She was just making sure I was wearing my sunglasses.
I'll betcha.
Yeah.
Aw.
It's good. They're good, right?
Well, that's the human touch of all
Yeah.
of this that's happening right now. Oh my goodness. So it's got to be hard. You're raising a 19-month-old. Life has completely changed as you know it. And I mean, it's great that you're home with her, but it's got to be somewhat difficult to get to do the things that you need to do for work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Make a
like
living.
you are probably, losing. I'm losing my mind periodically throughout the day,
Mhm.
or the week, or the month. And luckily, Sarah is not doing that as much, or just at different times. It's we manage and we figured out a good system to cover what we need to cover. And my side of the music stuff, because it's freelance, is a little bit more like I have to figure out what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, I put the album out, and that's been the last 2 months have been that for me, and just on nap time trying to figure out what little bits and pieces I can do for it, whether it be artwork or tying up different little things here and there for like administration type stuff with Spotify or iTunes. Just trying to do everything I could on my end, and it's nice to. It feels really good. It's the most I could handle. I probably couldn't handle shows and this at the same time.
Not right now. And so you started the record label Astrology Days.
Yeah.
When did you sort of launch that?
In March, actually, of last year.
2020. That's what I remember talking to you about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said you did that along with someone else?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have a partner, Patrick Biondo. He's in the lead singer of a band called Cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with Cabinet?
I am very familiar with Cabinet. I actually saw them at Music Fest a few years ago, and I was somewhat mesmerized by the sounds.
They're all such great people, and Pappy and me have been talking about just pretty outlandish things for a long time. This being one of them. Let's start a label. We don't need to know, whatever. And we didn't really. We actually did start one, and we didn't need to know, and we've come to a year later, I guess, we've got a family of people that have albums out and have singles out and have helped along the lines of, with everyone just sort of pitches in on what they know how to do. If somebody understands how to format CD artwork or vinyl artwork, they help out with that. Or if somebody knows how to mix things, they help out with that. And we all know that there's so little to go around. It's like kind of basically the only way that I can contribute something for free at this point was to try to make a little community.
Yeah.
And, I've been doing other things for money and kind of have to, and with drum tracks and stuff, like performing on albums.
Yeah.
And doing some production and mixing on stuff as well. And every once in a while I can sneak in something for free on that front, but I've had to, it's surprising how many projects have come in for at least just drumming on stuff. It's been nice to do that. And it's taught me how to engineer pretty well, which is cool.
So it sounds like you've created pretty much what every independent musician's dream is, to have help, just to have people who are not, charging what we can't afford to get to get our work out there and share the rewards, even though they're not large amounts of money.
Yeah. Sorry, these are going to fall off. It will. It'll come back to us in a way that is good, and I know it will, because we started it, I think, in a pretty honest way. You know, let's just, whoever wants to be involved can be, and it's basically a place for you to have your music be heard. You know, we'll listen to stuff and be able to help out with just having a fresh set of ears on something and seeing if it's right for the label, or if you should really talk to this person, they'll play on it, or that person, or have this person mix it, whatever it may be. We want to be that type of local hub where people can go and just ask some questions like, hey, I got this music, what should I do with it? You know, it's like, well, it sounds pretty done to me, or it sounds like, you know, it could be mixed, or whatever it may be, or it just needs artwork. You know, we have a whole lot of things that we're acquiring in terms of just like a community vibe that feels good.
And just in case anybody wants to hear it again, that is called Astrology Days Records.
That's right.
How can they find information about that?
The most information would be on our Instagram at Astrology Days Records 1. And I can share that. That'll link you to our Bandcamp where all our artists are.
Okay.
I mean, so that's a good place to start.
There were a few links that came up when I put that into a search, and I mean that it's as easy as that people can do that.
Like,
cool.
You mean it came up accurate?
It did. I think it did.
Cool.
It doesn't always.
No, it doesn't.
No. So this record that you started working on and just finished and just released, what was it, March 5th, I think it was?
Mm-hmm.
You released
it was actually out a little earlier.
A little earlier than that. And what's it called?
Hikikomori.
Yeah.
And,
tell me the inspiration behind that.
The inspiration behind that is Hikikomori is a type of, it's like a kind of a modern form of depression in Japanese culture that has a lot to do with people just staying inside and sort of focusing on one thing, whether they like it or not. And I don't think it's as easy to put into words here what that means. You know, people just say depression, or, you know, but now that we're all locked down to whatever degree we choose, as America does, you know, I feel like it is coming more into focus as a hikikomori can be anywhere, but it's kind of just in Japan right now. And for Americans, I think the best way to describe it is like a person who just stays in their room, needs to have food brought to them, doesn't come out, you know, scared to come out, or just too focused on some like aspect of life to come out. And yeah, that's what it is. I've had a couple of people from Japan reach me and have been affected by the name of the record and just saying like, wow, that's a really, I don't even really know how I am affecting people when I named it that, which is probably not the best thing, but what they're telling me, the feedback I'm getting from people who live in Japan, is that it has an even deeper meaning. Maybe not that I'm offending anyone, but like the way that Hikikomori is, it's like, it's harder to even describe than that. I think it's like there are broader terms for it. So
sure,
hard to find out more. But when I found the word, it seemed like that's what I was going through. It seemed like I felt like that making this. I spent a lot of unnecessary time sitting there with these songs or pieces, whatever you want to call them, and tinkered around with them and just did my best. But like really, you know, I went in really zeroed in on them. So it
So
seems,
how did you begin to create each song piece, whatever you would like to call it? How did you
yeah,
start that?
they started all just about as like an ambient bed, just some sort of
On a keyboard.
bed, maybe on slide guitar. Or,
Oh, okay.
it could be a couple of things, but there was no drums on it. It was just mostly ambient stuff.
Mhm.
And then I put some drums on it. But yeah, they were just little ambient bits, and then every once in a while I would like run one section into the other, and it would work or it wouldn't. So I'd fit them in, and all of them are just sort of inspired by like literally the only way I know how to use music programs.
Mm-hmm.
So it all kind of, it's cool because it does have a sound throughout, I think, based on my limitations.
Yeah.
And like I know how to use the tools that I have a certain way, and that's how I use them, and it ends up sounding like the record.
So I'm going to play a short clip from that song, Hikikomori.
Okay.
All right. To be honest, that's the kind of music I have been searching for during this whole past year.
I've been getting that a lot. It feels good to have released something that people are interested in. Really, I truly thank you for enjoying it.
Yeah. Thank you for sending that over for me. So that one you can truly hear. It's just that beautiful instrumental bed. Gloria had asked the title of that again, so I just wanted to put it up one more time. And then I can hear every now and then you can hear just a little bit of an effect. So that's all that's in the production of.
Yeah, I mean the way that something like that track would come about would be, an ambient bed, and then I'm starting to play keyboards on it, and then I sit at enough keyboards throughout my time recording it that little pieces of the certain parts of it stick out and start to make the track like 3D sounding or have depth.
Yeah.
And so I keep things that have like different qualities to the recording, so that it sounds like there's these things going on that give it some life, rather than you just sort of you're hearing a keyboard. Instead, you're hearing all these different little bits of a keyboard, maybe from a sound check at a show on my iPhone, or maybe from a studio where I played a really nice piano. Some of the piano from that came from a studio in California called Prairie Sun Studios. And it was, I think the piano was Tom Waits's piano, which was all kind of like messed up and only certain keys of it worked. So I do know that there's a little lick from that piano in there because the two keys that I needed worked. So I made a little lick out of it. Just use that,
Yeah.
and then moved on and didn't, need to throw anything else in there. And yeah, so you just sort of build from there and build as much as you can. And
It's true art. It's true art. Yeah.
yeah, it's like painting. You pick little parts. Keep going back to it another day. So I did lots of different takes, and then I'd just take one note, or I'd take two notes and make them a little louder, and pan this one over here a little bit and put it back here. And,
wow.
All sorts of stuff like that. So that when you're listening in headphones, or not, it just sort of sounds like it's around you and stuff, and not just like a one track mind or something.
Yeah. There was a question as to where one could purchase this, and I did put the link in there to your Bandcamp. So, folks, you can just click on that, and it'll take you right to John's Bandcamp, and you can purchase directly from there. Hey, let's play another one.
Okay.
And this is the first track on the record is called "Love Does."
Yeah.
Do you want to set that up at all?
Yeah, we can. I this has always been the first track. It's been through many different iterations of it. There's two bass players on it.
Oh.
Alex Luquette, shout out to Al, and Josh Weinstein, who plays with Cat Wright and has Moonwake Beats as his production for his music. And I think I played everything else: guitar, drums, keys, and mixed it.
Yeah. Let's play this. Love Does.
We're gonna get Sarah in here too now.
Cool. That's great. Yeah. So that's very different. That has drumming in it.
Yes.
Obvious drumming, but it moves. It starts off. Hi, Sarah. It starts off with it sort of fades in. It just sort of builds and builds and builds, and then that splash of drumming happens. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, I spent so much time on figuring out what worked, and then not a very large amount of time on like doing takes or anything. Like if something worked out, I had to go with it because I have limitations on the computer aspect of it. So I was like, this works. This is great. I'm going to just, I did this take. This is how it sounds. It really defeats the purpose to even explain stuff like this, because I know no one has heard what I was going through with it, but it was intense trying to figure out how to get those chords on the off beats and play that beat and have it sync right, because it's not like to a grid or anything, and I had to sort of sneak all these notes in, just little micro adjustments on the kit to get with the chords, because I didn't know how to edit the chords properly.
So one last question on all of that. Is this something that you will be replicating live?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because I look forward to that.
We have an Astrology Days studio up in Wilkes-Barre that a lot of the production of records from our label comes out of. And we have like a multicam live thing that's going on there. And I just haven't figured out how to get together with Alex to make it happen yet. It's just not a whole lot of time to do that. but we've actually he records his little practices and he tries stuff out. And I have been trying to get up and do stuff too. So we're getting there, and we're going to do like 2 or 3 live streams like that. One for a magazine, one for Astrology Days, and one actually for a microphone company. And that's it right now, just because, you know, don't want to do too many like actual in-person stuff, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
We're lucky to even have those opportunities to get into a studio and do it and have it be filmed. So
cool. That's great.
Yeah.
And Sarah, your timing is just absolutely perfect because, you know, we got all of that in, and then we can sort of work our way into talking about you. I just, you know, I have some information that I read, and I would love to be able to just share and introduce you as I would have if we had been in the beginning of this. Sarah Haarman, you grew up in Macungie, Pennsylvania?
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. And you received training at Lehigh Valley Charter High School for the Performing Arts, as we have established earlier. And in 2012, you received your bachelor's degree in dance from Marymount Manhattan College.
Yeah.
And you joined Mark Morris Dance Group as a company member in 2017. You've been there ever since.
Yes, you got it.
Great. The internet is correct. We have learned that the internet is correct. Yeah. And so you were living, so you got married. When did you get married? 2019?
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep track of.
2019.
Yep.
2019.
Yeah. And then you were living in Brooklyn, or you moved there, or?
Yeah, I've been in New York since college. So yeah, we were in Brooklyn. He moved from Vermont, I guess, the year prior. And then June 2019, we got married in Emmaus, Pennsylvania.
Can I ask a very sweet question as to how did you come together? Because if you were in New York and, you know, John was not, how did that all come about?
Well,
It's the romance question.
thanks to Instagram, we had stayed connected, even though we didn't really know each other in high school. We were kind of always just seeing what each other was up to. So
yeah, we were like followers of each other, lost into hundreds of followers of.
For some
whatever
reason,
it
I was
is.
still following him. I didn't follow many people from high school, but he was one of them.
Must have been a reason.
Yeah. But the most romantic story is that he drove from Vermont on 2 days before New Year's Eve to pick me up, to take me to Vermont. And that was like our first date in Vermont. So he did a 6-hour drive to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
We didn't get to Vermont till probably 2:30 a.m.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And then you're married a couple back last year? No, 2019. And then
All like a whirlwind since
and
then.
then we have beautiful Penny, and then we have a pandemic, and you're spending more time with each other than you ever imagined you would.
That's right.
Yeah, as we all are.
Pretty crazy. We used to tour all the time, and now.
So I can imagine the hardest part of this is that dance is not something one can do by oneself.
Right.
I mean, you can, but it's not what you do, and doesn't come across the same way.
Exactly.
So,
I was just saying that to John tonight because I had such a great day because I, for the first time in over a year, was able to dance in a studio.
I'm glad you found someplace.
Yeah, I'm so grateful. I found a woman in Easton who was renting me some studio time. So it had been over a year, and I was explaining, like, I mean, he has limitations too, but he can go to his kit and work and just practice. And for me, working in my living room and over Zoom with my colleagues, it's been really, really difficult. So just to be able to have a studio with smooth floors and high ceilings and a mirror so I can really check in with my body and see what's happening. And then still on Zoom, which is not the best, obviously, but it was still just a great day for me.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Is there a particular style of dance? I know almost nothing about dance, and I'm going to assume many people that are watching don't really know what they should know about dance. Is there a particular style that you are more favored towards?
It's interesting. Yeah, I guess if you were to put a label on the style I do, it would be considered modern dance. But within that, we work with different styles with the Mark Morris, the choreographer I work with. For instance, we take ballet as our technique class to practice, to warm up our bodies, to do what we have to do for the movement, what's called for. So if you were to put a label on that, I'm working with ballet shoes and very strict technique of ballet steps. But when I get to performing side, I'm not necessarily doing like formal ballet on stage. I'm doing more modern barefoot abstract work, I guess you could say. But it's really difficult when I get that question because I think you have to experience it and go see it and to try to wrap your head around what it is. Because for me to like put words to it, it's kind of like sounds weird.
Mm-hmm. So are these things that when you're with a group, or so you have a choreographer, in this case, the choreographer determines what that dance is going to be made up of?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly his role. He's making a dance. With our collaboration, that's a huge part of it. But yeah, he is, creating, putting it all together.
Are you able to do any of that on your own?
I have not done that in a while. It's something John and I have talked about.
We're starting to figure out what to do on our own, because just for fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Be able to do something together that we both have our little departments and we can help each other with. It's kind of a nice thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it definitely feels like a job when you're doing like a drummer role in some sort of program or band. And I'm sure for her it's the same. It's like, she's a part in a show. I'm a part in a show. Mm-hmm. So when we get to hear some music, or if I see her move and I know how she moves so well, and whether it's like we're dancing in the kitchen or I see her doing shows, everything in between, she knows exactly how my compositional mind works at this point. So I think they would complement each other.
Yeah, I think that we want to work on something together. So just trying to figure out.
I feel like that there's something that could and should be born of this.
Yeah. We all three of us feel that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm intrigued about that.
Stuff for dancers, not exactly the way that she works, but more aerialistic stuff with Trevor Exter.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Trevor had some friends that did that from when he was in De La Guardia. They had other shows on the side, and a lot of our music ended up in their shows. So even before I knew Sarah, it was really cool it was my very first experience watching someone from a different artistic medium work things out. And it was so cool to watch dancers work things out because they did it with like confidence, which musicians don't do.
Okay.
Like this, something about it. It's like the way that they would show a move or the way that they would be able to explain something to somebody else was like with a lot more enthusiasm than I've witnessed.
Is that the discipline?
I think they work with their body. I mean, Sarah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just, I don't know. We always say like, we work with live musicians a lot. I'm very privileged to get to do that. And but we haven't really, I don't know, talked about this a lot, but like it's like dancers counts and musicians counts, and you know,
different.
very different.
Very different.
Yeah. But I think for the dancer side, it's just so like you interpret it so deeply in your body. So maybe that's why it's easier to explain. But if I were to explain to you, you'd probably be like, what am I talking about? But it's like, I've gotten something from it, and it's like in me somewhere, you know?
I just like watching it being explained from dancer to dancer, because I'm used to a certain way. A musician's trying to tell me something, and they're like, it's kind of like this, but not. They can't really show me because I don't know what a chord is, and I'm just drumming, or I don't know. And the dancer can just spin it around or show the thing, and there's I don't know, on my side of the yard it seems like it's like an easier way. It's like it seems like they communicate in an easier way. And again, Dina, I'm like on the drums, so it's different for me with sitting out and listening to a band talk about chords or something, you know, where I don't know what a chord is. Like, I don't know an E, or I'm not like trained in that way. So when someone's like, I was talking to my dad about this actually the other night. It's like, you know, that when someone goes, let's start on the E, I don't know that that's the start of the chorus or if that's the bridge. And I'm the one counting it off and going into it. So I've had a lot of experience of like counting something off. I have no idea what I'm about to blast into, and just being able to adapt to it. So that's a cool thing and everything, but it definitely doesn't, you know, it makes you feel like I wish I knew.
So
you're a great improviser.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and you've been able to, as a drummer, you can play different styles and play. Someone can hire you, and you can sit down, and they trust you to play what's needed.
If they know me, I think.
Yeah.
If you do it, I feel like they could. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know, I was always intrigued when I would watch people, not professional dancers, but even just people dancing non-professionally, but dancing a particular dance, whether it be a waltz or a tango, or and that's totally different from what you're doing, Sarah. But in two people working together, you talked about the dancers knowing and speaking that language and knowing who does what and what comes next. And it has always fascinated me to watch people know as a pair what to do next and how their bodies should move, and not fall on the floor because someone did something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that really is a completely different world.
Yeah.
I mean, in the work I've done at the Mark Morris Dance Group, some of our dances do involve things like the waltz. And I don't know the formal structure, so actually it is kind of clunky at first for me. It's like, oh, what is the rule here? And so it's kind of funny that if you threw a bunch of steps out and we're like, okay, do this, do that, I'd be like, okay, I can do that. And then it's like, okay, do this waltz. I'm like, what foot goes where? Who's what, But
so it's a whole other language.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's absolutely fascinating to I think that it's not the average person doesn't aspire to that, just like they may not aspire to being a painter. So to take that step, what drew you to be that, to just completely dive into it and immerse yourself into that?
To me or him?
You. To you.
That's a really good question. I I don't know. Recently, just before I was coming on here, it got me thinking about how I felt training and studying dance as a young person. And I never really felt like good or that special. I just enjoyed it and felt like it was an outlet that I wanted to pursue. But I wasn't like the top of my, it wasn't like the best one. And but I just continued on. And New York really was like my draw. I really wanted to get to New York. I just had a connection with one, I spent time there as a kid going in and out. And I would always ask my dad to drive through the city just so I could look out the window on my way to Long Island to visit family. So I just knew like and for dance, I guess it was just the trend to like go to college and get a bachelor, so you weren't just like this is different for you, but that was kind of the idea, is like get a college degree and not just go right into the dance world. And so that was really awesome. I'm very glad I did that. And then in college is where I just met people who was like, I want to work with you. You're really interesting. That's where I met Pam Tanowitz and Jessica Lang. But before I got with Mark Morris, I was totally doing what John is like freelancing my butt off and going to 3 different studios a day. And it's crazy.
Yeah. And is there any upcoming, I had looked at the schedule, the Mark Morris calendar, on their website about upcoming performance. And, a couple of them, I thought there was something in May. I think maybe that's virtual.
Yeah, they are. So I've had a different experience just because like our situation here. So I will not be a part of the there's going to be a live stream show from Brooklyn in May. But in about 2 weeks, there will be another, I don't know, what do they call it? Stream. Yeah, live stream, but it's of pre-recorded material that we sent in to Mark and his collaborators, and they've made like a dance film type thing. So that'll be in 2 weeks, so people can go check that out. But then in May, it's the live stream from a actual theater. And then they're working on a couple shows for the summer in like outdoor places, like the Bronx Botanical Garden. I think we just found out in June. So they're really trying to utilize, outdoor stages.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, great, awesome.
Yeah, put that link up there. It's in the comments. People can click on that.
Awesome.
And find out more. Yeah. So I'm really happy that you found a place. You're in Easton. You're dancing. That's good. And John's making music. And it only took a year for us to get back up on our feet.
Yep.
And we're doing it. Yeah. And I don't want to forget to mention something that I don't think John even knows about, but there's a publication in Vermont called 7 Days, Vermont's Independent Voice, and they reviewed Hikikomori.
You know that?
I didn't think you knew that. So I'm going to put that in the links in the comments here, and anybody wants to read that article. It's pretty nice.
I can't wait to read it. I mean, I did, for the complete transparency, I have been reaching out to anyone who I thought might like it, or if I have roots in the city.
Yeah.
The newspapers and the magazines and stuff, but I didn't hear back that there was an article written. So I'm excited to see what they say.
Well, there you go. Yeah. You got it.
Good or bad.
Well, all right. That's good. I'm glad we got this opportunity, to get the two of you together. This was not easy. We had to wait for Penny's sleep habits to get, sort of settled in over the months, and I think you're doing a good job. Is she? And John, I've seen a few of your Instagram videos with you trying to do your paradiddle and your rudiments with her in the room playing.
I have not practiced long.
Is she picking up anything from either of you yet?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
she's just, her body is incredible.
Yeah.
What she does. Yeah. It's
Great.
fascinating to watch her move.
The dancing that she does. We have a couple dance parties a day.
Yeah.
We have different genres, but mostly kind of the same record. It mostly revolves around Dua Lipa. You know Dua Lipa?
I don't.
Okay, Dua Lipa's like one of the biggest pop stars.
Okay.
On
How do
like,
we-
you can link to Dua Lipa. But she's like, you've heard it on the radio, Dina, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't listen to the radio.
Well,
Then you have
even if you were in a grocery store, you'd hear the song, like,
Okay.
All
right. I got to learn. You're going to tell me how to spell this, and I'm going to.
DUA
DUA.
space
Yeah.
LIPA.
Oh.
She's pretty big.
Oh, wait a minute. Now that's looking familiar.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Penny loves Dua Lipa, so we put on Dua Lipa a bunch of times a day and dance
Okay.
parties and
But I've been
do-
telling John, he took his drum kit out of here, and I'm like, you need to bring that back.
I don't even have a drum
She
kit.
liked that a lot.
Oh,
Yeah, we have some drums. I took them out because we just don't have a lot of space. But
Sure.
she did love them when they were here,
Mm-hmm.
And you took the guitar.
now I don't practice.
He took all the instruments out.
But I started having a show. I'm gonna have some shows soon, so it's good. I have 2 shows in April.
There's a question that just came up asking if Mikhail Baryshnikov was a partner in Mark Morris Dance Studio at some point.
He has a very good relationship with Mark. They actually formed their own group like in the 80s. I think it's called White Oak Dance Project, something like that. So yeah, he's great. He's amazing.
You saw the comment that I just put up there.
Yeah.
Happy people. So, you spending any time with family?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Good.
We wanted to be close to family.
Yeah.
And it so happens that it's been the best silver lining of it all. We could go on and on about how nightmarish it is to not feel like we know when things are coming back or when we can make money again, or like if we should just pack it in and start new careers. But we've been blessed to have good moms and dads, grandparents, the
great
whole nine.
great grandparents
Been
Penny
so
gets to be with. It's so great.
understanding.
Very good.
Yes.
All right.
Support system. Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks both of you for talking with us tonight, and I wish you all the best.
Thank
Thank you,
Dina.
Dina.
I'll watch for you taking a walk out there with the stroller
Okay.
every now and then and say hi.
Thanks a wave.
Yeah. Oh. All right. All right. Well, thanks so much. And
Thank
one last thing we have to try to do. I ask everybody to give me a high five, if you possibly can do it
Like into the
on
camera.
the screen.
Oh,
Like
Wait, this one.
it. Yeah. Yeah. You got it. Hit
Which
me.
way?
Hit me. You did it.
That's cute.
Right. It's not so easy.
No.
we had to
Yeah.
go the opposite way. That was
It's the opposite. It took me 6 months to figure that out. We're good. All right.
Now
Cool.
you know what I'm dealing with.
I do.
Yeah, that's her job. Is like,
That's what I'm doing all day long
Which
on
side?
Zoom
The mirror. Yeah.
and left. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Thanks
All right.
for supporting us and having
You're
us.
welcome.
And thanks for listening to the album.
You're welcome. And this will be archived. It'll be on YouTube. You can send people to there if they didn't get to watch it tonight, they can watch it again.
Oh, good. Yeah.
All your family. Okay.
All
Great.
right.
All right. Thanks a bunch. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks everyone for tuning in tonight and hanging out with us. I really appreciate the comments. It makes things much more enjoyable. They're still kind of coming in here. I'm just going to put them up here right now momentarily. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And as I've mentioned each time, if you're so inclined, this is a project that I put together, just a labor of love. But I have set up a monthly donation to Turning Point of Lehigh Valley. And if you are so inclined to send a tip, I'm sending 10% of any of that over to them. So you can use PayPal or Venmo, and it's at Dina Hall 2020. All right. Thanks all. And I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.